Hey, this is Tina Lorenz, your freelance copywriting mentor, mindset shifter, transformational business coach. And today I want to talk to you about the haters and the skeptics and the people that will try to keep you from moving forward with something that could change your life. The other day, this individual posted something on a Facebook page, and I have been thinking about it ever since of how much I wanted to talk about this, because this dude showed up that said, "Oh no, this is a lie. You can't learn freelance copywriting if you haven't read voraciously many books by the time you're 30. It's too late. If you haven't written till your fingers are numb since the time you were a child, it's too late." He literally said that you had to be a voracious reader up to the age of 30, or else forget it. You're never going to be a freelance copywriter, that it takes years and years of pounding away at it to be successful. And I'm just like, I'm here to tell you that is freaking hogwash, okay? So I came to freelance copywriting status way later in life. I was already past 50. I'm really afraid you're going to do the math here, but hey, I'm going to own that, right? Because I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I was able to do that. From absolute nothing. I was homeless in my 40s, been on my own since I was 17 years old, had no advantages whatsoever when it came to doing this. I had never been paid to write anything. I'd been a clerical worker, a food server, a childcare provider, a clerk in a store. Those are the kinds of jobs I had. A unit clerk in a hospital, that was probably my favorite of all of those. And even did some photography, children's photography for a little while, all kinds of different stuff. And I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time as well. And in a domestic violence scenario in my 40s, I had to run for my life with my children and start over again. Now, honestly, I always hated working in an office. I hated doing clerical work. I hated being treated like subhuman a lot of the time. Or here's 27 pencils, go sharpen them for me, this kind of stuff. And I always felt like I was, I felt at some level like I was capable of more, but on the other hand, probably lacked confidence about what was really possible. And I thought, well, I need to go back, I need to go to school, but I just couldn't manage that. I was on my own for a very long time at a very young age, and was really more focused on just surviving and moving forward in life than trying to go get any kind of special training, even though it seemed like something I would love to do. And so then I focused on my children, and I made sure they got the training. My son's a Rhodes Scholar. Most of my kids had paid for college educations because they earned it through their own hard work and their own academics and their extracurricular activities. They earned that position, that they were offered multiple scholarships from very top-notch schools. And so I focused on them. But then when I went through this domestic violence scenario and I got to the point of life where I knew I've got to come up with something, I met my fabulous husband, Ron, after all of this had happened. He didn't have 2 cents to rub together either. I've often kidded him. Do you remember your shoes you were wearing when we met? They were like plastic tennis shoes from Walmart. I mean, he really didn't have anything either. He'd gone through a divorce. I was going through my very necessary divorce from this psychopath that I'd ended up married to. And so we had to start over again together. And so bit by bit, we found our way. And we got to the point where we'd been doing some promotional tours for big ad agencies as freelancers. He's legally blind, and so we were kind of covering that up. And it was getting to the point where it was really getting difficult, where I was kind of seeing for both of us as what was happening. And I knew I needed to find something. And it was past September 11th. It was all these things had been going on of what's going to happen to us now. We were living in an old mobile home in Yuma, Arizona. And I was sitting at the computer, and I read an article about copywriting. And I just felt like, I think I can do this. I really think I can do this. And so we did what any rational, logical person would do. We sold that old mobile home. It was just an old green shag carpet for my countertop, double wide, sitting on a lot that just happened to have a fabulous view of the mountains and a saguaro cactus, the kind with the arms in it. And so that's what I sold. Somehow I knew to sell the view. And so that's one of the things I want to share with you, is that we're always selling. When we talk about selling, it's always more than the obvious. It's always answering a deeper need. This is how we connect with relationship with who we serve and the people that we are marketing to, is by connecting at a deeper level about what the true thing is that they really are looking for. And so when I sold our mobile home, I sold the view, because there were millions of double wide mobile homes with green shag carpeting and Formica countertops, no big deal. but the view itself was what was special. And you know what? We sold it to the first person that looked at it for cash. And while they were looking at it and we were standing in the driveway having the conversation, the next people that had made an appointment drove up. And when I said to them, oh, these people are here to look at it, so we're going to have to wrap this up, they took one look at that car, looked back at me and said, we'll take it. And so there were so many lessons in all of this for me. The psychology of it and what really drives people and why they make the decisions they make. And those people didn't buy my shag carpeting. They bought our view and the future image of themselves, admiring that view and sitting outside at sunset and seeing the light on the mountains and admiring their cactus and feeling the warm breezes of Arizona. That's what we were selling, not an old mobile home. But that sale is what propelled me into being able to start my freelance copywriting business. I was looking through some things that I've written from some years ago the other day, and I found that I made $600 for writing a sales letter while we were sitting in our old RV, because that's what we moved into when we sold a mobile home. We had an old RV, and we were at Grand Teton for the first time in our lives. We'd gone to Wyoming, and we were sitting in the majesty of Grand Teton, and from that old mobile home, for $600, I wrote a sales letter. And that was how I began. And within 6 months, I had made over 6 figures because I quickly grasped how to do this and how to move forward with it and how to start really getting paid in to what I was worth and finding that value and knowing that that person I wrote that sales letter for sold out an event that she was doing and made way more than what she had invested in me at $600. And so this is all part of the journey of being a freelance copywriter. And so when I saw this comment from this individual, this is not possible, I was just like, no. What unfortunately, sometimes what I see in some of the comments that come my way on Facebook are from people who are bitter, people who have gone the old traditional way, perhaps, of what they were doing as copywriters, trying to work for an agency, working for a big company, really dancing to the tune of whomever they were working for and not really having that much say in it and never really learning how to create that foundation of value as an entrepreneur where they could set their fees and they could choose who they worked with and they could choose the projects they wanted to work on and really understanding how to be online as a freelance copywriter. And so what I wanted to say today in this video is just sometimes you have to shut out the toxicity. You have to hang out with the people that understand what you're doing and support what you're doing. And sometimes it's not your loved ones. Sometimes it's not your friends because they just don't get it. Doesn't mean you shouldn't love them or have them in your life, but it may mean that you have to kind of compartmentalize where you talk about what you're doing and find the community to hang out in where everyone understands exactly what you're doing and why. And it also means shutting out the voice of the haters, the ones that want to come and say, this isn't true, this is a lie, this is a scam. And so I just want to share with you that it's absolutely real what you can do with this. I have so many stories from my students of just the shift in mindset along with the skills that have propelled them into having that revenue stream. We have Piper, who went from $1,800 a month to now making $9,000 a month part-time in a very, very short time, not just from the copywriting skills, but from the mindset shift that happened along with it. We have Susie, who used to charge $100 for an entire page of copy, had been doing some writing in office jobs that she had, then realized working with me, she realized this is actually copywriting, kind of what I was doing, and then honing those skills and shifting the mindset. Now she is literally working with a team for a television show, a pilot for a new TV show in the spring, where one simple page strategy that she learned from me in my program has become a ticket to her having a very generous 4-figure retainer every single month by writing that one-page type copy. I mean, there's so many stories of this, of what's possible, of being able to start a group and teaching what you do. We have Tina Spangler who's teaching barrel racing and realized that she could use copywriting skills to start a Facebook group to teach people about barrel racing online instead of in person. The pivot that happened in 2020, the pivot that had to happen with the pandemic, and the opportunities that have opened up because of that. So I just want to tell you, there is a real future for you as a freelance copywriter, whether you already are one, whether you're thinking about it, whether you have your own program or products and you need to learn to write better copy for it. All of these things are entirely possible. I do have a free workshop at authentic-copy.com. It's absolutely free, where I go through some of the basics of what you're going to do as a freelance copywriter, what you can expect to make, how you would get started. And whether it's with me or in another program, I urge you to go ahead and pursue freelance copywriting. But I also urge you to pursue it with someone who's actually been doing it for almost 2 decades. Not someone who just learned it 5 minutes ago, not someone who is a hired gun, so to speak, for a company that's teaching copywriting, and they just bring in some folks and say, here's our stuff, go kind of coach them, or that expect you to write for free to support what they're doing while they hold you down and say you're not good enough yet, but hey, by the way, let us use that free stuff that you wrote because we're going to use it in our business. I've heard so many stories from students that have come into my programs of just incredibly unethical practices, and so just be aware that you need to be in a program that's going to literally teach you, support you, be there for you, be able to answer your questions, and with a community of like-minded people that will also support you emotionally and psychologically and encourage you, celebrate with you, and answer your questions for you as well, give you feedback. Those are all things that result in a business as a freelance copywriter. And one of the other little hints I'll tell you about the stuff I do and how I teach is that you come in thinking, I'm just going to learn how to write headlines and bullet points and how to write a sales letter. And you do, but there's so much more because of the spiritual connection, because of the spiritual practices I teach that go with this, and mindset, the neuroscience, the brain science of mindset that can change everything for you just by shifting how you think. I hope this is helpful for you today. I just thought I'd pop in. I've got lots to talk about because one of the reasons I've been away for quite a few weeks here is because my husband unexpectedly had triple bypass open heart surgery. And this is another reason why learning freelance copywriting, by having an online business or whatever else you might do as an online business, can carry you through the difficult times, the challenges, the unexpected challenges that come up, that you don't have to worry about calling in sick, hope you have enough sick days, what's going to happen. When you're a freelancer and you learn an online skill, especially like copywriting, it can carry you through the tough times as well. I'll be talking more about that in the coming days with videos and on my podcast. But for now, I just wanted to share this story with you, encourage you that you're in the right place if you're here hanging out with me, listening to my videos, watching and thinking, maybe I want to learn about this freelance copywriting. I'm going to encourage you to do exactly that. That's it for today. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you again soon.